Hi, I'm Clemens, and this is episode 16 of Life in Lists of 30. I love writing lists of 30, and today I wanted to share 30 global worries. I've been doing this grown-up thing where I read the news and try to make decisions about my family's well-being based on observations on trends, correlations, and emergent patterns. I blame listening to NPR's The Indicator podcast and spending some free time reading about global economics. It was so much easier when there was just video games. I miss video games. Note that this list was written in 2019, but it's still pretty relevant. 1. 2020 global recession. This will likely be an outcome of some global worries piling up. I did not expect the pandemic to be the main thing that led to the initial drop. 2. Climate change. Hotter hots and colder colds, leading to way more extreme weather. 3. Withdrawal from commitments to reduce carbon emissions. These groups create incentives and mandates for innovative ideas, and we're basically rolling them back. It's great that we're rejoining the Paris Climate Accord now. 4. Fires in the Amazon. I understand some of these are normal, but making government actions on opening for more commercialization is not good. 5. Hurricanes in the Caribbean and typhoons in Asia. I'm personally scared of flooding and devastation from water damage. 6. Impeachment of Trump. I think we're already setting up the next president to fail. There's so much damage that has already been done. I think the transition will likely lead to disastrous Democratic term. I did not predict a second impeachment, but we have lowered our expectations for the inherited dumpster fire. 7. Recommendation bubbles. Specific to media and information fragmentation, it's hard for people to know what they're searching for is not a result of what the government or a number of corporations want you to see first. The first page of Google or Amazon is very powerful. 8. War in the Middle East. It's heartbreaking to read New York Times stories covering those regions. 9. Brexit. Maybe it will be a perpetual delay. Maybe we'll vote again. Either way, it just highlights the divide between the lower and upper class. 10. Foreign/Russian interference of elections. Clearly this has been happening and will happen again. High difficulty of monitoring and prevention due to recommendation bubbles and clever ways of social media-based interactions with app installations and ads via games or other pages. 11. Deep fakes. Related to above, it's not difficult for false news to be shown or overlaid with filters. I mean, just look at this example and check out the blog post for the example. 12. Cyber terrorism. This doesn't have to be direct as installing monitoring malware on anyone's devices and bricking them, but it could be related to levels of social and identity hacking. 13. North Korean nuclear missile testing. I don't see an upside to further missile development. 14. Fed printing money to bail out the repo markets. I'm not sure this is temporary or changes any outstanding economic balances. I just know that it's a lot of money. Money printing continues. 15. SIM hacking. Telco number identities are really fragile. I'm also afraid of losing my phone and the 2FA keys. 16. Social-based hacking techniques. The surface area of attack vectors are pretty large, even just within email spoofed messages. Any social network can be flooded with bots and can quietly build a stronger and stronger validated online presence over time. 17. Trade war with China. While this has been lost in the news cycle, globally, any tariffs will have a 6-month delay for it to hit the consumer. It seems news cycles for progress have led to some rebounds, but I feel like there's something fundamentally uneasy. 18. China's recession and piled debt. China is in a lot of debt, and they're trying to evolve their economy to be less of the quote-unquote cheap labor and cheap copies into new technology and sophisticated investment opportunities. I do think China has come out of this pandemic with a much stronger economy. 19. Venezuela. And this isn't because I just watched Jack Ryan, although it was pretty great. There are some examples of dictatorships rigging elections and peaceful civil unrests and protests across the nation, leading to more violence. 20. The shrinking middle class. This has been around for a long time, but I think it's much more visible when seeing voter turnout across the world just to see the government upend itself. I feel like the past year only emphasized the disparity between classes. 21. Economic slavery. Similar to the shrinking middle class, there's a compounding factor placed on poor people staying poor or poor people asking government for subsidized help because it's a root cause like jailing people for bad reasons, like possession or homelessness, bad credit scores, and high interest rates on crappy loans, like payday loans. 22. Student loan bubble. Universities are businesses, and it sucks that they get so much leeway as being educational pillars. Ultimately, the past generation of 150K in-debt 22-year-old liberal arts majors are working at coffee shops and making minimum wage will lead to fewer houses being bought and a quote-unquote millennial factor. 23. U.S. tuition bubble. Specifically, U.S. will no longer be the preferred location for higher education because our reputation as a country will decline. Also, no one wants to come here because we've done such a bad job with the coronavirus response. 24. Devaluation of the USD. One of the biggest fears for any country is hyperinflation. The USD will be fine, but if there's any major threat, it would be cryptocurrency or Libra coin, now Diem, or CNY coin, now launched as a digital yuan, gaining more traction with corporations. Once corporations function like banks, central banks will have less control. 25. Platform-based monopolies. Network adoption and penetration is getting more and more difficult as people settle on the core social networks and marketplaces. Antitrust will be an even bigger topic in 2021. 26. Extinction of species. The Earth's ecosystem is having a bad allergic reaction to human inventions. It might be the plastic, it might be the emissions, might directly be the poaching. Whatever it is, species are going extinct much faster than any time in history. We are witnessing the next extinction in slow motion. It's not a giant meteor, but it might as well be. 27. Bee migration patterns. Where are the bees? Why is this not getting more attention? 28. Plastic. I don't think this stuff is going away for a long time, nor are they reducing in volume or velocity. 29. Pollution and smog. Major cities next to industrial locations like LA, Beijing, and Mumbai have very high level of particles in the air. You might as well start smoking. And 30. Being present. I'm worried we're living a second life and not enjoying the moment. Reduce your smartphone usage, be here, and be now. On the next episode, I'll talk about ways to stay disconnected. Stay tuned for that next week. Music is by Kristen Dye. You can find her on Instagram at Iron and Silver. She has videos of incredible duets and also powerlifting. You can also subscribe to the newsletter and a very transparent set of Google Docs and spreadsheets of this podcasting journey at listsof30.com. Thank you for listening, and I hope everyone stays safe.